It is another beautiful day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. And we've witnessed and we watched some top quality football matches across Europe over the weekend. And the matches are over. Chelsea were able to seal a draw against Manchester United at the Old Trafford. Manchester City also lost to Bournemouth for the first time in the history of Bournemouth. They've won a game against Manchester City. Arsenal, the Gunners, the early kickoff didn't go well for Arsenal. They lost to Newcastle United by 1 goal to 0. And then Tottenham Hotspur this Sunday also won by 4 goals to 1 against Aston Villa. Those were the interesting and exciting matches in the English Premier League. Now, the Spanish La Liga, we couldn't witness the Real Madrid and the Valencia game due to the natural disaster, the flooding in Valencia. Atletico Madrid won against Las Palmas by 2 goals to 0, and then Barcelona. Definitely Barcelona we knew Barcelona were going to win that particular match, and they won by 3 goals to 1 against Espanyol. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's Albertine Sports. You subscribe and also turn on post notification bell. And then you share the video after watching. Now let's start our analysis from the Arsenal versus Newcastle match. You see, my pre-match analysis, I said that if Arsenal wants to compete for the league, these are matches they shouldn't lose. They can't afford to lose because Newcastle is a tough opponent and they can give you a tough match on any day, especially in an early kickoff match. Definitely, they are going to give you a tough match. But Mikel Arteta and his boys must find any way, any means to win this particular match because you won't lose against Newcastle United and expect to win against Liverpool, expect to win against Chelsea, expect to win against Manchester City. These are top clubs. These are clubs on any day starting the match. It's not easy to predict. Yes, Newcastle, as I already said, they are a boogie side. Every opponent struggle to win. Manchester City played a draw with Newcastle United. Chelsea beat them just recently in the English Premier League. But playing Newcastle, especially at this moment that Arsenal are battling some injury crisis, at least you find a way, even if not a convincing win, a win, just the 3 points, you'll be able to secure the 3 points at the end of the match. But unfortunately for Mikel Arteta and his boys, they couldn't win that particular match and they lost by 1 goal to 0. Alexander Isak has shown why he's one of the best strikers in the English Premier League. He's not playing for Manchester City. He's not playing for Liverpool. He's not playing for any top club in the league. Yes, he's not playing for any of the top clubs in the league. Just for Newcastle United. Yes, you can say for the past 2 seasons, Newcastle has been investing and signing a lot of players, but yet they are not a top club that can guarantee you more goals. But yet, Alexander Isak, since he joined Newcastle United, can promise you 10 to 15 goals every season for Newcastle United. And he was a force to reckon with against Chelsea. Yesterday against Arsenal, he also showed his class. Yes, he showed his class. And so far in the English Premier League, he has been fantastic and he has been solid. Against Chelsea, he scored a goal. Against Arsenal, he scored a goal. That is the quality of striker Newcastle have in their possession. I think Arsenal should consider this kind of striker. Yes, they can try to play Kai Havertz, Daniel Trossard, and other players as a number 9. But how can they guarantee you goals? Because these are not top strikers. Yes, they are good in their natural position. They can give you some goals in some matches, but can they do that consistently? Kai Havertz can score goals for you in some matches, but how consistent will he be for Arsenal, especially Arsenal trying to compete for the league? Because against Manchester, they've been competing for this league against with Manchester City for the past 2 seasons. This is the 3rd season, and yet they have not been able to win the league after Arsene Wenger. This clearly shows that there are certain Arsenal are lacking. There are certain things Arsenal are lacking. And goal scoring. Yesterday, you watch the Arsenal match, you clearly see they lack the last man to score for Arsenal. Yes, Gabriel Jesus on the bench, but Gabriel Jesus for Manchester City during his days wasn't promising or you would expect more goals from Gabriel Jesus when he's in your team. Yes, he's more or less like a decoy operating from the wings to create spaces for players to score goals. Now it's Kai Havertz they are going to rely on. It's not clearly working. And now Mikel Arteta, you see the midfield trio of Mikel Merino, Declan Rice, and Thomas Partey is the best midfield trio for Arsenal with the absence of Martin Odegaard. So you're playing Thomas Partey as a right back, putting Ben White on the bench is something that really affected Arsenal in that match. And I think going forward, the guy that should learn from those mistakes and make sure you repeat those kind of things. Because if you go ahead and set up a team like this against Manchester City, or sorry, against Chelsea, even against Chelsea, it's going to be a difficult match for Arsenal. Now let's move on to the Manchester City versus Bournemouth match. Manchester City, for the first time, lost the match to Bournemouth. And the thing is, Bournemouth this season has been a stubborn side. Antoine Semenyo and Evan Nelson, they just signed him from Porto last season. He has been a stubborn side this season. They beat Arsenal by 2 goals to 0, and yesterday by 2 goals to 1 against Manchester City. Yes, we can't talk of Manchester City because they are facing some injury crisis as well. Rodri is obvious, is out for the rest of the season. Kevin De Bruyne is also out. These are players who decide moments for Manchester City, and now they are out of the team. And yesterday, you could clearly see Manchester City lacked that Rodri vibe in the midfield. They lacked that Rodri vibe because they face a certain Bournemouth side that defended deep in low block. So you need a strike, or you need a player who either can decide the game from the back. You try to, go for power shot behind the opponent's box, or a midfielder who can break the defensive line of the opponent. That's where KDB comes in. And you could clearly see it really affected Manchester City yesterday. You see, Erling Haaland was more useless in that particular game. Vardy came in, usual, he got one consolation goal for Manchester City, but it couldn't, get good points, or he couldn't secure at least a point for Manchester City, and they lost to Bournemouth. Still there for now, but they are second in the league, and they are competitors. They are still active to compete for the league because they are just 2 points behind Liverpool. And on any day, Manchester City is what we are talking about. Pep Guardiola for the second round of the season can decide the matches for Manchester City, and they can become a force to reckon with in the English Premier League. Now, Liverpool against Brighton, they came back and then they scored. They won by 2 goals to 1. Cody Gakpo and then Mohamed Salah. You don't expect Brighton and Albion to beat informed Manchester United, informed Liverpool side. Yes, informed Liverpool side at Anfield. You see, if Liverpool were playing away, the story could have been different, but they were playing at Anfield. At the moment where you need the supporters to rally behind the team, they come on and they do what the team needs for them. And that's what they did yesterday at the Anfield. And they came back from that goal. They won by 2 goals to 1. Now, Cody Gakpo came in last season. He was not that exceptional. He was not on top of his own. But this season, he has started the season very well. And he will give Luis Diaz a competition. And Luis Diaz will have to compete for his position because the kind of game this guy is giving us recently, both in the Carabao Cup and in the English Premier League, we'll clearly see his class is come on. He's one of the good players at Liverpool, and who can actually help Liverpool, especially when they are trying to compete for the league. You're going to play against Manchester City, who have enough quality. Even when he's about to rotate his whole starting lineup, you have quality players at the bench who can come in and win some matches for him. Now, Liverpool also need those kind of quality players from the bench who can come in and also decide moments for Liverpool. And the big match was today. Chelsea versus Manchester United at Old Trafford. Anyone who previewed this particular match, the key thing most of the people, or most analysts were saying was, if this match was under Eric Ten Hag, it's easily you predict Chelsea were going to win. It's easily you predict for Chelsea. But now, they fired Eric Ten Hag prior to this match. Ruud van Nistelrooy took over. And Ruud van Nistelrooy's first match won by 5 goals to 2 against Leicester City. Now, it's clear, and we've seen examples where teams fire coaches, and the new coach or the interim manager bring that new coach vibe into the team, where every player wants to play very well in order to earn the coach's trust. And that's what helped Manchester United today. Because this Manchester United team we watched today wasn't that exceptional, but it was an upgrade of the Eric Ten Hag team we watched against West Ham United. The Eric Ten Hag's team we watched against Liverpool and other clubs during the beginning of the season. So you could see that Ruud van Nistelrooy didn't do anything extraordinary, didn't do anything exceptional to the Manchester United players. But the new coach vibe, that mentality, he psyched the players, and these players were willing to play and help the team so that the coach will be at least reliable. The coach will trust them, and then will secure a starting 11 in the coach's books, the coach books. And that's what they did right now. That's what helped them to win against Leicester City. Yes, Leicester City is not a difficult opponent to compete with or to play with, but yet they won convincingly by 5 goals, and they were able to secure a draw. This is a good result for Manchester United, because Chelsea, the kind of ball this team is playing this season, they are fourth on the league at the moment. Bournemouth, so Nottingham Forest, we'll talk about Nottingham Forest later. Nottingham Forest are third and Chelsea are fourth. That clearly shows Enzo Maresca has done something to this Chelsea setup that they are actually exceptional and they are playing very, very good football this season. So for Manchester United, who didn't start the season so well to secure a draw against Chelsea, it was clear that for the past since 2014, Chelsea had not won as the Old Trafford since 2014. But it was difficult for Chelsea to beat Manchester United, not even only at home, both home and away. But last season they were able to beat Manchester United away. So it's anything could be possible. A record that's set to be broken. So the final of Eric Ten Hag influenced this particular result, and that was what helped Manchester United to at least secure a win. There's no exceptional thing that Ruud van Nistelrooy added to the squad. Yes, but Kupama is an exceptional player. We need to talk about this guy. He's a very, very good player. His intelligence, his decision making, and his ability to scan the pitch and take decisions very quick is what makes him exceptional. Not only his goal. You see, people are limiting his quality to only goals. They are limiting his quality because he's adding up goals to his game. But Kupama with the ball, how to anticipate spaces, how to think. This guy is a very, very good player. He's an exceptional talent. It's been a very, very long time we've seen this kind of player who have this top level of intelligence in his game. He's a very, very good player. Now, Nottingham Forest are third on the table. They scored West Ham yesterday by 3-0. You see, Nuno Espirito Santo didn't have a bad season or didn't have a bad spell at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He left, he came to Tottenham. It was a disaster. He went to Saudi Arabia. They fired him. Now, with the Nottingham Forest team, with Anthony Elanga and then Hudson Odoi, these are players. They were surplus to requirements in their previous clubs because Hudson Odoi was not useful at the Chelsea squad. That's why he left to Nottingham Forest. Now, Anthony Elanga for Manchester United wasn't a good player. That's why he moved to Nottingham Forest. But Nuno Espirito Santo has assembled these players and they've had a very, very good season. And now they are third on the league. How many times have you seen this kind of clubs or a team, especially at a time where teams or where clubs are spending huge money signing quality players, and then a club like Nottingham Forest are competing with Arsenal and Chelsea to be in the top four, and they are third. They are ahead of Chelsea and Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. Let's credit Nuno Espirito Santo. He's doing a very, very good work at Nottingham Forest. Now let's move on to the Spanish La Liga. Barcelona won by 3-1 at the Stadio Olympique in Montjuic. And the offside trap once again. Espanyol scored 2 goals and then they were all disallowed offside. And you could see today's game was not that the intensity was not that high, and Barcelona were not on top of the game, especially in the second half. Because they scored all their 3 goals in the first half. In the second half, they relaxed a bit, and the coach had to do some changes. But yet they won. And the consistency is what's going to help Barcelona, especially to compete for the league. Because you win consistently. Those at the back of you, you also beat them. So now, a team now be able to give Barcelona a tough time is Real Madrid. And he scored Real Madrid in their last match. Now they have Atletico Madrid to play. So being consistent, at least you'll be able to score the clubs that are not superior as compared to you, Barcelona. So you beat those clubs. Now, you come on, you meet the top clubs. At least you manage Atletico Madrid. You get a draw in that particular match. Won't be bad for you because you've been able to get all those points that you need from the at least lower class or the middle class club. That's what Hansi Flick is actually doing. So I think being consistent is actually going to help. And check that Lamine Yamal assist to Dani Olmo. And Dani Olmo this season has scored 5 goals. Don't forget he got injured. Has scored 5 goals in the Spanish La Liga. That's the quality this guy possesses. Yes, people doubted him because at Leipzig he was not consistent because of injuries, but he displayed his quality in the Spanish national team during the Euros. And his combination with Lamine Yamal in the Euros we are watching a replica of that kind of performance in the Euros. And check that pass he gave to Dani Olmo. Yes, Lewandowski today, I saw a different Lewandowski. Lewandowski is a striker. You watch him, you always want to be in the box, be a target man, a force in the box to convert chances the team will have for themselves. But today, this guy decided to drop deep, create spaces for Dani Olmo to take advantage of the spaces and then score his 2 goals. Now, Rafinha, another goal today. Rafael Belloli, I'm very, very happy for him. I am one person who personally criticized Rafinha. Yes, I criticized Rafinha because his performance was very bad. And I see people trying to discredit Xavi for not letting Rafinha play or for not improving Rafinha after he joined the club. But don't forget, the form of Rafinha started later part of last season. He started later part of last season against PSG. We all saw the kind of game Rafinha showed to us, and he has traveled to the following season with that same performance. And that's what we want from a certain player. That a club spends almost 60 million to sign for a club. If a club spends 60 million to sign a player for the club, meaning they've seen something in the player that they want him to come and then have him come help the club, make the club pick the club from the level they are to send them to another level. And that's what Rafinha is doing. And as a captain, he's showing a good leadership skill. He's displaying some good leadership skills in the club, and it was a very, very good win for Barcelona. And then the boys are actually doing well. Now in the Italian Serie A, Antonio Conte lost. Yes, for the first time at home this season. They lost at the Diego Armando Maradona Sports Stadium today against Atalanta. Atalanta has also been one difficult opponent this season. Prior to the match, they were third on the league behind Napoli, behind Inter Milan and then Napoli. And then Atlanta has been a good travelers in the in the Italian Serie A this season. And then Napoli were also on good home form this season. So it definitely was going to be a difficult match. I didn't expect Atlanta to beat Napoli by 2 goals. I expected Napoli to at least, if not win the match, secure a draw. But Ademola Lookman and his guys, Gasperini and his guys did a very, very good work to be able to beat Antonio Conte. And Conte is one of the best defensive-minded coaches you find in the game currently. To be able to beat Antonio Conte's side by 3 goals to 0, so not even 2 goals, by 3 goals to 0 in the Italian Serie A, clearly shows how good this team is. And Ademola Lookman, this guy should win the Africa Ballon d'Or. He should win the African Best Player because the kind of game this guy is displaying in the Italian Serie A for Atalanta last season. We all saw his performance in the Europa League final against Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen was one of the best clubs in Europe last season, but they met this Atalanta team, and then they showed that they also have class. Gianpiero Gasperini also displayed his quality and how good he is when it comes to this coaching thing. So today they were able to beat Napoli by 3 goals to 0, and now Inter Milan have to win. And if Inter Milan wins, they have the chance to compete Napoli because Antonio Conte, as I already said, is a league expert, and anytime he's playing in a league, he's someone you need to target because he knows how to play the league. He's not going to play a beautiful football. Yes, he's not going to play an exciting champagne football, but he'll get the job done. So don't back off when Napoli lost. Yes, they lost today, but I don't think they'll bounce back. I think we enjoyed a very, very good weekend today. Some good matches they displayed. We watched. They lived up to expectation. Barcelona winning, a draw at the Old Trafford, Liverpool, and shockingly Manchester City lost to Bournemouth. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So Albert Sports.